told you not to backtalk me. Don't backtalk me.
How exactly did he make his money at such a young age? And you're probably guessing, seeing as I'm making this video, that it wasn't some sort of unethical way. But you're going to want to stick around because I would almost guarantee you it's worse than you're thinking. After working at a hedge fund for a while, Vivek made his big money in the biotech space. Vivek had a company called Axavant that was incorporated in Bermuda, but was pushing a drug called RVT-101 that was supposed to help slow the effects of Alzheimer's. But where exactly did this awesome new drug come from? Did Vivek develop it? Well, of course not. And this is where it starts to get a little crazy, because he actually purchased the rights to it from a bigger company, GlaxoSmithKline, for just $5 million. But wait, hold up. If this drug does what they say it does, why would GlaxoSmithKline sell it for just $5 million when they could make billions? Well, it's because they had pretty much given up on the drug after it failed not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 clinical trials. Because what Vivek did is he took one of those failed clinical trials, put his mom on the research team, who is a doctor, but was also on the board and had stock options in the company, and they took some people out, reworked a couple things, finagled a couple others, and all of a sudden that failed clinical trial was now a clinical trial that showed significant improvement. Just like that, overnight. You then, of course, rename the drug, and now you have a promising new drug and a finagled phase 2 clinical trial that you can cherry pick a few lines from. You then go on CNBC and talk about the unlimited potential that this company has. Then all you gotta do is file for your IPO and watch the money roll in. Even though before the company itself actually makes any money, you gotta pass phase 3 clinical trials, but more on that in a second. And when they eventually did do their IPO, it was the biggest biotech IPO ever. The stock doubled on the first day, and eventually it went from $15 all the way up to $50, based on a hope, a prayer, and Vivek's salesmanship. But then, after the stock shot up and enough time had passed so Vivek's family and rich friends could sell off their shares, it was then finally time to do stage 3 trials. And surprise, surprise, it completely flopped, which caused the stock to drop 99% in one trading day, because it was now a worthless stock. But he had always known it was a worthless stock. And if you do know anything about the stock market, you're probably asking yourself, why does a company called Axavant have a ticker CO Gene Therapies? Well, that's because after the stock completely tanked, he changed the name because he wanted to make it harder for people to find his pump and dump company. So to recap, the guy that wants to be your president made his fortune by buying a drug that he knew was garbage, super cheap, then using one of the trials that proved it was garbage, having his mom rearrange a few things. He then went out into the media and sold it as the next great American company. And then some poor schmuck that happened to be watching CNBC that day invested in his company, and in one trading day lost everything. But it's okay though, because Vivek, his mom, his brother, and all his rich friends had already made a killing. Finally, in closing, Vivek seems to think that wokeness is destroying the country, but I would really like to ask him, what is hurting the country more? A person using they-them pronouns, or a guy that is running billion-dollar pump and dump schemes on Wall Street, destroying the lives of people that were silly enough to believe what he said?
My buddy Brandon holds a record for single season touchdown.